Hello everyone and welcome back to my Senate election prediction videos where I take a look at the Senate races going on across America in 2024 and give my thoughts, analysis, and predictions on the race. And today we are looking at the state of Maine, a seat that is currently held by an independent senator, Senator Angus King. Although Senator King serves as an independent and runs as an independent for purposes of organization, in the United States Senate, Senator King caucuses with the Democratic Party. Senator King is in his second term. In 2018, Senator King's margin of victory was just over 19%. Maine is one of two states to divide its electoral votes by congressional district, and the overall winner of the popular vote takes the two at-large electoral votes. In 2020, Joe Biden won the overall two at-large and the first congressional district, and Joe Biden's margin of victory for those electoral votes was 9%, and Donald Trump's margin of victory in the second congressional district was 10%. So Joe Biden came out of Maine with 3 electoral votes, and Donald Trump came out of Maine with 1. And almost every indicator is that will be the case in 2024, that Vice President Harris will take 3 and Donald Trump will take 2. The first congressional district of Maine is the Portland area and the more urbanized area of Maine. And the second congressional district is a geographically large area of Maine, and it is a very rural part of the state. And it is very much in the Trump column. But the margins in the first congressional district are enough, and Democrats can keep the statewide total low enough to carry the state overall, and that is what most everybody believes will occur in this upcoming election. Let's take a look at the nominees. The Democrats have nominated a candidate, David Costello, and he's a government reform advocate who claims he has over 25 years of experience in the government reform area. The Republican nominee is Dr. Demi Kouzounas. She is a dentist and an Army veteran and the former head of the Maine Republican Party. And of course, the independent incumbent Senator Angus King. King has served in the Senate since 2012, and prior to that, he served as governor of Maine from 1995 until 2003, at which point he took a sabbatical from politics and would run for the Senate in 2012 when it was an open seat and won. He has been a strong advocate of the Affordable Care Act and described a moment in time when he was a young man and was diagnosed with a form of cancer, and the only reason he believes he survived was the fact that he had health care, and that is why he supports the Affordable Care Act. Senator King has a very moderate voting record in the Senate and is considered to be one of the more ideologically centrist votes in the Senate. Although he does support most mainline Democratic issues, there are issues where he breaks from the Democratic Party, but overall his voting record would be that of a moderate Democrat. And he gets generally high ratings from progressive interest groups and generally low ratings from conservative groups. But there is a caveat to that. Conservative groups are very big on ideological purity in their rankings of senators and candidates, and Democratic groups sometimes, not always, but sometimes has been the case more recently, they're more interested in results than ideological purity. So how do I see this race playing out? Well, there's a little bit of a wrinkle in this. Maine uses ranked choice voting, and that changes the dynamic dramatically. Senator King's going to win this race. Senator King is a known commodity, so those people who are Democrats who may, not feel super comfortable with Senator King can go in and they can give their first place vote to the Democratic candidate, and then they give their second place vote to Senator King, and that will help carry him home. The Republican voters will, go in and they'll vote for Dr. Kouzounas. I believe there's another independent running. I'm not real sure their positions are a non-factor in the race, in my opinion. And there are more positives in Angus King's favor than Demi Kouzounas. In 2018, a Democrat ran. They did not have to go to ranked choice voting because Angus King got over 50% of the vote on the first round. But the Democrat finished with 10%. So Democrats in the state will see Angus King as the unofficial nominee of their party and support him. And those Democrats, like I said, who are concerned about the lack of a Democratic label, they'll go in and with their first place vote, they'll vote for the Democrat, but with their second place vote, they'll vote with Angus King, and if they have to go to second place votes, Angus King would carry the day. So I feel incredibly comfortable in saying that Senator King will be elected to a third term in the U.S. Senate.